Welcome to North of the Broad. I'm your host, Karen Wyman, coming to you from Higher Ground in Buford. We have a great show lined up for you today, so stay tuned for more North of the Broad. Welcome to North of the Broad. I'm your host, Karen Wyman, coming to you from Higher Ground in Buford. I'm joined this afternoon by Will McCullough. Welcome, Will, to the show.
Thank you for having me. It's great to be here.
We're going to talk about your business, EquitySafe Realty.
Excellent. I'm glad to, first off, before I even begin to talk about that, I do have to say I'm really glad to be back on the show again, and I love being here on at Higher Ground. It's a little plug for a different business. I know that's not why we're here, but Tim and his folks do a great job here. It's a great place.
We're equally as excited to be here in this awesome spot with Tim as our awesome and gracious host. So absolutely, I'm with you with that. Thumbs up for Tim. You know, I know that you have been in the Low Country and been in the real estate industry for a very long time. You know that your name is synonymous with real estate here in Buford, but you bring a different model to the real estate game with your relatively new business. It's young, 1.5 years old.
Yep.
To EquitySafe Realty. So give the viewers who may not be familiar with your business and your model just a synopsis of what makes it different.
Sure, I'd be happy to. So EquitySafe Realty is kind of the brainchild of our cumulative 20 years or so in the local real estate market. In a nutshell, I'm going to try to paraphrase this as best I can. Our goal is to offer absolute top-notch, high-quality, full service like every other real estate company in the area, but better, but to do it in a manner that saves the consumer a ton of money. So we want to offer full service, save them money, and produce great results. I can get into detail how we do it, but in a nutshell, that's what we do.
Awesome, and I think that's what every consumer wants. You know, you certainly know from my own personal experience going into buying a house, you're always thinking about, you know, how much is this going to cost me? How much am I going to give to the real estate agent? Because as a buyer or the seller, how much money is going to go to the agent? So obviously those are big concerns, whether you're from the buying side or from the selling side.
Yep.
So knowing that you guys have a model that will save people money on both makes it a little bit less painless?
It makes it a lot more painless. I mean, in a nutshell, you know, stereotypically, there's federal antitrust laws that prohibit price fixing in any industry. But you'll see a lot of times in real estate, folks charge a commission, and lots of times it's around 6%. Sometimes it's 5%, sometimes it's higher, it can change, but let's just use that as an example. What often happens with that 6%, one company lists, one company brings a buyer. The company that brings a buyer gets 3%, and the listing company gets 3%. What we do is we change it. We make it so the buyer's agent, whoever brings a buyer when we list a property, they get 3.5%. So they normally get paid, they being the other 400 some agents in Buford, get paid more, stereotypically, to bring buyers to our listings than they do even for their own company, or that's our goal. Then what we do on our side is instead of keeping 3% on the listing, which is like on a $500,000 home, is $15,000. What we do is we keep a flat $29.99, $3,000, no matter whether the home is $100,000 or $2 million. So 3.5% to the buyer side agency, a flat $29.99 to us, and absolutely top-notch, full service. We cut absolutely no corners. We only cut costs.
That's the deal.
It's great. It's phenomenal. It's been very successful for us.
Awesome.
We love it. It's fun.
Well, we know how successful it's been because before we started taping, you told me that you guys have recently purchased and are ready to open a new office.
We are. We actually purchased this. It's at 83 Sam's Point Road. So get your pens out. I'll say it again. 83 Sam's Point Road out on Ladies Island. I love that. It's a great corridor with a lot of traffic. A lot of traffic. 22,000 cars a day. So really good traffic out there. We're in the finishing spots right now of finishing up the building. Got to put in our parking lot. We're waiting on our sign permit to go. But we think by the beginning of September, our doors will be finally open and we're going to be starting to bring in new agents and whatnot. Very exciting stuff. So thank you for mentioning that.
Absolutely. So obviously you mentioned new agents.
Yes.
Are you guys looking to bring on bigger staff to hire people?
We haven't started aggressively looking yet because I want to have the doors open at the new place, you know, to show them what we offer from a physical perspective for those new agents. But we already do have several new agents who are looking to come aboard. And yes, if you are an agent out there who's looking for a new home where you can offer something great for the consumer, please give us a call. You can call it the same number the consumer does, 1-843-YOU-LIST. Give us a call. We'll explain how we do things for agents. And if you're not an agent and you're thinking about entering the real estate agency, or not agency, but market, the industry, give me a call. I'd love to talk to you about this too, because we have something great and we really want to share it with the world.
You have such incredible enthusiasm about what you do. So obviously, I know that you and your wife are both passionate about real estate here in Beaufort, and your enthusiasm just about your new business is just overwhelming. It's great.
Well, it's genuine too, so thank you.
No, I know that it's genuine, absolutely. Anything else that you want to share with the viewers out there? We've got a little bit of time left, Will, before we wrap things up, but anything else?
Sure, since you mentioned that, and this isn't a rehearsed question, but since you asked that, yeah, I'll share. I was a Marine for a very long time. I loved it. That type of occupation makes you appreciate what some people do that's so hard to make a living. Real estate in this area has been exceptionally good to us. I actually almost think, and I don't mean this to be obnoxious to my peers, but it's almost obscene how much money we can make as a living in the real estate industry for what we have to do compared to what a lot of people have to do out there. So I see EquitySafe Realty as a way to fairly give back to the real estate community of the world who's trying to buy and sell, and actually give them a fair shake and high quality service. So thanks for asking, but yeah, I'm enthusiastic about that.
Absolutely. Well, we appreciate you coming and being a guest this afternoon on North of the Broad. Happy to see how successful you've been since the last time you were on the show. You've been in business now since January of 2016, so great job with you and your wife for such success in a short amount of time.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. We'll be right back with our next guest on North of the Broad.